Hey, and welcome again to Tally Benchwarmers. This is your definitely unofficial and definitely not expert take on the latest in local collegiate sports. This week we're going to talk football, but this week we're really going to be backbenching and celebrating women's soccer, FAMU volleyball's team. We had some interesting stuff happening over the weekend football-wise here, but we're just going to be backbenching all these sports and having fun doing it. For the next 30 minutes or so, our WFSU team is going to concentrate again, as we always do, on FSU and FAMU sports. And as we transition to the bench, let's welcome all of our bench warmers again. Adrian Andrews, good to see you. Adrian, we missed you last week.
David, I'm glad to be back, buddy.
Yeah, Adrian Andrews.
It's time to go.
We need our sports reporter.
I got a lot on my chest. So
you do. Adrian's got a lot to talk about. And we're going to get to it in a little bit. Jennifer Tappen, Director of Finance here at WFSU. Hey there, Jen.
Hey.
Hey, we went 1-2 in our picks. We'll talk about that last week.
Yeah, we did.
And introducing Eric Carter, our sports guru here, Assistant Chief Engineer, who went 0-3 in his picks last week.
I was perfect.
You were perfect. Yeah, just in the wrong way. Perfect. You were perfect in the wrong direction, right? And then at the end of the bench here, and this is really why we put him at the end of the bench, Tristan Wood. I guess he's like a wannabe sports reporter, right?
Listen,
he's like a wannabe.
I'm a sports fan that's also a reporter that's coming off a really good week for my, alma mater. So I figure I'd hop on here and give my takes about it, give my thoughts.
We're calling him Captain Caffeine this morning because he's had like 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
ready to go.
Listen, after partying after all those UF victories over the weekend, I got to have coffee to get me through the week.
Yeah, we put we put Tristan at the end, and we may have to back him up a little bit because
we don't want that stench.
The stench. But I'm concerned for his safety because you got Jennifer and Eric who are such diehard Null fans that it concerns me. You hear the war chant. You hear the war chant. Look on the bench right now. You've got a soccer ball celebrating that. Gee whiz, 8-0 victory over Samford on Friday night.
Yes.
That was dominating women's soccer, the football team in Tallahassee these days.
Lady Knowles.
The largest ever postseason win. So, oh my gosh.
God.
Let's talk about it.
And what's his name at the end of the table here, at the end of the bench? He was actually there.
I was on the sidelines. I was covering. I'm a recent soccer fan. My girlfriend has had me watching Ted Lasso, so now soccer is one of my favorite sports. So I decided to go cover it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the environment was electric, sold out crowd, people sitting, watching from the parking garage nearby, watching in. It was quite an environment, and FSU soccer was dominant from the beginning of the game. Scored a goal 7 minutes in, and just even when they put their bench in, they were the torrent of scoring just happened throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean, we scored five goals in the second half, and that was actually probably after you had some of your second team players or backup players playing.
Wholesale swap.
A wholesale swap. Yeah. So, what's your take on what this team is really looking like as they prepare for Vanderbilt this coming Friday?
They're looking really good. I would say we don't want to get too excited about how much of a blowout it was because Samford, an unranked team, that how the seeding works for these first rounds is it's regional closeness in the bracket. So this wasn't an outcome anyone didn't expect.
Maybe not quite the blowout, but a win was expected, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. A win was expected, not surprising to anyone. FSU as the number 1 seed. But the team took care of business. Yeah. They had possession for 74% of the game, which is a ridiculous margin. Yeah. Of course, the line being winners, but they took care of business in front of an enthusiastic crowd, and they're going to be back there on Friday. With that same crowd ready to give them energy for the next round.
14 shots on goal.
14 shots, yeah.
23 shots altogether.
Now, who would you give for the MVP of that game? I'm always with Jordan Dudley.
She had her first career 6-point game.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna give the coach is the MVP because that defense they set up. I mean, Samford didn't get a shot on goal until just about the end of the game.
Oh.
Well, and we had our backup goalie in for almost 30 minutes, for 27 minutes. So you know that.
And she got the 2 saves.
Yeah, did she really? She got 2 saves.
She was perfect.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah, I mean, it was an easy game for FSU's goalie for sure. They were sitting back most of the time, being like, because although the possession was there, the ball rarely crossed over onto FSU's side of the field. It was just I felt really bad for Samford. They were defending the whole game and were really putting that effort. Just were really outmatched, but I mean.
Continue the home win streak in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And shutouts.
These girls
and
are
shutouts,
incredible.
yeah. And it's really great to see an FSU team beat a Samford team the way that you should expect, because on the other football side of thing, on the men's football, we have had some struggles with Samford in past years, have we not?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so
yes, we have.
Great to see. Yeah, Jordan Dudley, I would agree with you. If it's going to be a player, Jordan Dudley. The MVP.
She's
and
phenomenal.
She really is.
Yeah, scored the first goal of the game. Yeah. Two goals total, 2 assists.
Yeah.
Fantastic. She was dominant.
So Tristan was telling me he was trying to record some sound, and he realized he had to turn the volume down on his microphone there because it was so loud.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a sports for my first time trying to capture audio these live events, and after every goal, I'm right next to the crowd, so I'm trying to capture audio. On the second goal, there was these group of kids that are on the Deer Lake Middle School soccer team. I go to put the microphone in, and all these middle schoolers were screaming enthusiastically as the goal went in. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
So Vanderbilt Friday night, we host them here.
Yes,
right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes,
and Vandy, I haven't done a whole lot of research into their team, but I mean, the ACC generally has got some good. And the SEC both have got good soccer teams, so we have to expect a much more competitive game Friday night.
Right.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt is coming to the field of Seminole pride.
There you go.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, I'm hearing. Well, it's it's from FAMU. It's the music of the FAMU Marching 100. It's beautiful to hear. Don't know if it's really something that we want to celebrate, besides the fact that it's the Marching 100.
We can always celebrate the Marching 100. They're amazing.
But Saturday's football game certainly did not turn out the way that any of us had anticipated.
No, not
we
at
were
all.
all perfect.
23 games.
That's right. We all picked.
23 home game. That was the streak. It was intact since 2018.
From 2018. My God.
Gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blink of an eye is gone. So, I mean, I think it hurts because it was Mississippi Valley. I think that's the reason, because we knew it was going to end eventually, but not against a team who hasn't won a game all season.
They were winless until Saturday evening.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you call being a gracious host.
You know what? That's a nice way to look at it. I don't think that Coach Culsey is probably thinking about it that way, nor the team, nor the boosters, FAMU, anybody. But wow, what a Richardson had a decent game, right?
Yeah, another 200-yard game. I mean, threw a pick, threw one touchdown. I think the biggest thing is just how do we score in the red zone? That's been our issue all season.
Yeah.
Like, he can put up 200+ yard games every game, but that doesn't really mean anything, if we're unable to get the ball in the end zone. Like, these touchdown passes, and but it's just we have to find a way to score.
Our running game is not complimentary this year.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the problems that we're having, because people are actually daring us to pass the ball. So they're stacking the box, making sure they take away one of our aspects. Mm-hmm. It's easier to stack the box, make sure we don't get running, and then just live with the fact that we can't get into the end zone by passing.
Yeah.
So I did not see the game because I was elsewhere. But did the team play with the kind of intensity that you would expect them to, or was it you think they came in thinking this is a winless Mississippi Valley team?
I mean, I missed the game as well, so I went back and just watched clips, and then I was going down the stats, and something just wasn't adding up. It was like, you mentioned it, he played a good game, but that's on stats, that's on paper.
Right.
But, and a lot of people didn't know if he was going to even be out there because he had a concussion in the last game.
We kind of wondering,
So I was wondering if maybe he had, maybe he was seeing a couple stars out there. I don't know what it was. Yeah. Maybe he was a little dazed or something. I don't know. But I just think the connection just wasn't there, and able to run. Either the run game wasn't there, so it's hard to really pinpoint what the issue was. But I think so. This is his first year, Colsey's. This is his first year.
Let's hope it's not his last. Let's hope it's not his last.
You know what's interesting though about that? Like the alumni, like it's a lot of people who's calling for him to step down.
Oh my God!
They're already calling for his termination, and they're maybe saying maybe this wasn't a good hire. I mean, again, this is his first year. We're 5-5 now under Willie Simmons. His first year when he took over, 5-5.
Yeah, right.
But the next year we went on to win 9 games.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do we see from Colsey? Do we keep him in there? Let's get another year.
That's tough to imagine a firing coach after one season, which is at this point still not a losing season, right?
No, it's not a losing season. Right. It's just, I guess, the expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, you win all your games last season, in the conference, you're SWAC championships, and then you're in the Natty. So it's,
wow, it's water in Tallahassee. It seems
like. It's not like they're 1-9 or anything.
They're not, but it's just I guess the standard.
Good point. But
watch your mouth.
There was at least enough. There was enough fight in the team to get fined for on-field fighting between the players, right? What happened there? Does anybody know what the story behind that? Was it just anger, frustration?
It's frustration, and then on top of that, they were actually trying to defend that, unbeaten streak.
Yep.
And when you realize that, it's about to slip away, pride gets in the way, and those guys.
Sure.
Wasn't it like $25,000 they fined? I think it was a good little chunk of change.
Pride can be expensive sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. And speaking of pride and expensive, I mean, Norvell's got a lot of pride. Norvell is
he's very
expensive too. So I know that. So we're just going to pivot to FSU football real quick. It's not going to be a whole lot to talk about because luckily we didn't lose this weekend.
Are you sure?
Almost.
Are you sure?
We actually did because we had a recruit decommit.
Another one.
So we lost. We found a way to lose
on a bye week.
Yeah.
Yes, we sure did.
Oh my gosh. So we've got an expensive coach. Mm-hmm. We've got somebody on this end of the bench that's just gloating because he had a head coach at the Gators who 3 weeks ago or whatever, it was this close, just within inches of being fired, right? And then the Gators have
figured it out.
They figured it out. FSU's had trouble figuring it out, but so any inside information from our sports guru, Mr. Carter, about how practices have gone this past week?
One of the problems I'm noticing is, as our coach keeps talking about after the game, what I see in practice and what we're seeing on game day is not translating.
Yeah.
So he has to figure out why practice and game day in his eyes doesn't look the same.
You got to change practice.
Yeah.
If it's not matching, then there's something that you're doing in practice that isn't working. You got to change it.
Mm-hmm. It's not working on game day because when you're practicing against yourself, it's a lot easier.
I mean, you're going against yourself. I don't even know if the tempo is dialed down during practice. I would imagine so.
You
don't want to, but you don't want to go out there during practice and you have a lot of injuries.
When FSU was FSU of the 80s and 90s. Ones versus ones never happened because they fought all the time. So it was always ones versus two on offense and defense, and that's how come our twos were just as good as our ones and threes and everything like that. So I'm not a fan of dialing it back, during practice. You go out there, you hit them.
Full pads, you're going on. I mean, I don't know. I'm also on the side of like protecting your players. Also, you don't want to like get hurt in practice.
The quarterback.
And
that's it. Protect the quarterback. Everybody else is defendable.
Okay, so we got Charleston Southern, another 1-9 team coming into town on homecoming weekend this Saturday. a 1:30 kickoff. I think it's something
That's odd.
odd.
Yeah, you know that.
It's an insult.
I'm not going to give
Insulting.
you the primetime game.
Not anymore.
I'm not giving you that.
Not even a 12 o'clock
I'm going to give you one
kickoff.
that people still sleep.
Well, everybody, a lot of the big teams who have gotten these noon kickoffs have complained about noon kickoffs this year, but 1:30 is really it's
That's going to be on like ESPN U Plus that you can only watch.
ESPN Deportes.
Yeah.
You have to pay an extra $100 a month to watch a losing team.
So, well, two losing teams in this case.
Yeah, I'm sure in the middle of the heat, the stadium's going to be completely packed for that game for sure.
It will. Well, it is homecoming, so who knows?
it's homecoming.
But I guess maybe the whole the strategy behind the construction was we knew we weren't going to pack the stadium this year, so why not make it this year where you only got 2/3 of the stadium available to put people in?
See,
maybe that was a smart move.
Norvell,
I just thought of that.
Norvell took his cue from the stadium. He made it a rebuilding year.
A rebuilding year.
He made it a rebuilding year. You rebuild
Every
the
other
stadium
year is
and
Rebuild the
you
stadium.
rebuild the team.
We have to hope. We've got 2 more games. Okay. Let's not even talk about what the last game or what the implications would be of that last game, or if we lose at Charleston Southern. But let's not worry about that.
Yeah.
So let's worry about that next Monday, where we talk about post game. So before we move on to any other sports, we do have some ACC and other college football games to talk about. Clemson beat Pittsburgh. Clemson's still kind of, I guess, in the mix a little bit if Miami and or SMU struggle in their last couple of games.
Right.
Highly unlikely, right? Mm-hmm. So the ACC championship game looking very much like it's going to be SMU and Miami, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm going to be pulling for the Mustangs.
SMU.
I think everybody knows people. And I think maybe even our Gator friend. Yeah.
I don't know about. I grew up in South Florida.
But
Tons of my friends
Yeah.
tons of my friends in high school were U of M fans, and I got to tell you,
They're annoying.
yeah, they were the annoying ones. So I don't know about that one. Yeah, I might be pulling for SMU.
SMU
We'll see.
all the way.
But the reason that we even let this kid on the bench with that Gator shirt was that what a big win on Saturday night against LSU.
Mm-hmm.
We all of us thought
LSU.
would win that game, but the Gators figured it out, man.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
Even though this isn't a season where they're competitive for anything beyond, we keep fighting. The Gators keep fighting no matter what.
They can still make a bowl.
They can still make
They
a bowl.
could still make a bowl, yeah.
They have to win one game. We're not going
Of
to
the
talk
last
about.
two.
We're not going
to talk about which one.
They play Ole Miss.
We're not talking about that one.
Listen,
They
I
might
wonder if
beat
they
Ole
will.
Miss, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They have a chance against Ole Miss.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure. They're playing for something.
Yes.
They're keeping their head up. And that's, at the start of the season, people tried to tell me, FSU fans came up to me and they were like, oh, both our teams are doing so bad this season. Oh, my gosh. But, I mean,
well,
we can see how the chips, have laid the rest of this season.
Florida has figured it out, and I don't like to speak
they
good of
figured
them
it out
in
enough
any way.
to win a couple of games. I don't know that they figured it out. But if Lagway is healthy,
He's back.
Well, but he wasn't at 100%. I mean, they had something on his leg to keep him from running 100% in the game, and he still figured out a way to
Run.
Absolutely.
He got an arm. He can sling it. I'm sadly impressed with this kid.
That's the reason that I'm baffled by the decommitment from Florida State to the Gators, because you're going to be playing behind a guy who can still win games.
Yeah, and who is a freshman who's going to be likely going to be your starting quarterback for at least the next maybe 3 seasons.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That's Well,
That's a lot.
Well,
Yeah, it is
well,
a lot, yeah.
That is a lot. But then do you want to stay locked onto a program that's 1-9 right now? I mean,
That gives you a better chance of actually starting.
that's right.
it does give you a better chance of starting.
Improvement. Lots of room for improvement and growth.
That's a good point.
When you're at the bottom of the
That is the
barrel.
positive about FSU this year, right, Adrian?
Yeah,
is there is lots of room to improve.
Yeah, that's true. But you go to the start of the season, the projections for FSU were looking good. I mean, with this collapse,
Collapse. This was the drive
Hey,
off of the
hey
cliff.
Booth, you can mute him now.
listen,
Mute him.
that's true.
I'm just saddened by the fact that we have to stop talking FSU football. Oh my God! But we're gonna
Oh,
talk.
darn.
Well, we've got the FAMU volleyball women's team,
Yes.
undefeated in the conference, undefeated at home.
Nice.
That we've talked about them
SWAC.
all.
Call them champions.
Fall. Yes.
You call them champions.
Yeah, and they're exciting to watch.
Yes.
They've got some good players. We've got. I'm not sure when the SWAC when the playoffs for the SWAC actually are beginning in volleyball, but soon.
The weekend. I think it's on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side of that, though, the FSU women's volleyball team, they went up against number 1 Pitt on I think last Friday. Did not win a set.
Got steamrolled twice.
Yeah, SMU beat them 3-0
But
on Sunday.
You got to think about it like this: the ACC, as far as women's sports, is top level.
Yeah.
You add teams like SMU, Cal, and Stanford, you increase the playing level because those are the national championship teams when they were in the other conferences.
Right.
So now you bring them into the ACC, where as the ACC was competitive with women's sports anyway. Now you add more, and we go on the road into hostile environments to play number 1 and then number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when those losses, though, the women's sports in this town are showing the men how to do
are.
it right now.
Well, and you'll
Yeah.
This is how you win.
and we've got a basketball on the bench because basketball season really is beginning to ramp up.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the both men and women on FAMU side are winless at this point, and I think the men play. We're recording this podcast on Monday morning. The FAMU men play number 20 Florida
On Tuesday.
in Gainesville.
Yes.
And having seen the Gators beat the Knowles Friday night here at the Tuck, I fear for the safety of the FAMU men's basketball team.
I think there'll be a lot of second and third string players.
I think possibly so, but yeah, women's FSU women's I think we're 3-1. Men's are I think 3-1 after that loss.
Yes, correct.
To Florida. I was at Friday night's game, and I got to tell you about this kid. He's a redshirt freshman for the Gators. He's from he came in from Canada. His name is Oliver, and I'm going to mispronounce his last name. Ryu. I think a French Canadian name. The kid is 18 years old, 7'9".
He's raw.
He is very raw, but he
7'9".
towers.
Yes.
I mean,
Wait.
I
Sticks his hands up in the rim.
Yeah, exactly. But I looked at him like just running, just warming up, and I look and I had to double take because he's a giant. He's just a giant. So if he can get any just kind of skill set at all and be able to run the court effectively, oh my God, man! All you got to do is just pass the ball inside and
I think by mid-season, he'll have the conditioning and he'll have the mindset.
Yeah, but whether they actually play him, then we'll see if they maybe just hold him out this one season because he's 18, and so, but yeah, so the Gator basketball team has some really good things ahead of him. Jameer Watkins, though, again led the Knowles, but just wasn't enough. It was a physical game, and the Knowles just weren't hitting their shots. I mean, they got down by like 19 in the first half, and you could just tell it was. Although they made a run,
Got it down to 4 points.
Got it down 4 points with like less than 2 minutes, and then
and anyway, defensively, the Knowles did they had a pretty solid defensive performance all around. Although it came in a loss, I mean. Rebound. They had the first 19 turnovers over the Gators.
Yeah.
Like they had a really scrappy defensive
I think that
performance.
was a lot of that. Some of that was just sloppy play by the Gators too. So, but you'll always take 19 turnovers if it's the opponent, right? But the men and the women on I think FSU, once they get in the conference play, it's going to be. I think the women are going to. They've got a kind of a little new defense that's in there, and I haven't seen this in so long, and I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of down a rabbit hole on women's basketball. But when they defend the inbounds pass, they are not looking at the person inbounding the ball.
You don't need to.
But how many? I mean, it's the first team I've seen in so long,
Right.
Men or women that are doing it that way. So I'm really impressed. I think Coach Brooke has got something going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another 100-point win for the women.
There you go. That's what we need.
Go girls.
Go girls, go ladies. So before we close this out, we always end the podcast with we do our picks. We do our picks on football. We only got a couple more weeks of football to really do the picks on.
Yes.
Last week we all kind of crashed and burned, although not
I was
everybody.
perfect.
Eric was perfect in the wrong direction, but by being perfect in the wrong direction, he lost his first place status with on the bench. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We've got a full slate of games to pick this week.
That's right. I'm coming back strong.
Starting with FSU Charleston Southern.
All right, now the redemption game. What is
The
this?
redemption
This is
game.
the redemption.
This is the redemption game.
That's a stretch.
We're gonna let Captain over here, Captain Gator, be able to pick with us, but we're not going to record any of these picks. But who do you think's going to win?
It is their homecoming game.
Uh-huh.
It's against another really terrible team. Yeah, I'll give FSU.
I'll
give it to FSU.
That was
Give it to
nice.
FSU.
That was nice.
I'll give
of
it to them. I think they might win.
Jennifer, who are you picking?
I mean, I'm going to pick Florida State,
Yeah.
but I'm not convinced.
Yeah, you're not convinced. Nothing to really be
No, I
really
just
positive
like.
about. Yeah,
Can we gain a little bit of respect? Hope.
Adrian.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida
on
State,
Florida State?
and but I'm willing to bet you that Charleston Southern actually comes out with a lot of fight and actually puts up
They
about
should.
probably put up about 14 points on them.
Do we know how many? Do we know how much money that we're paying Charleston Southern for this game? It's usually like $500,000 or something, or something like that.
Yeah.
So who do you think, Eric?
I'm going to take FSU,
Yeah.
but I'm going to have to make a caveat on this pick.
Okay.
Adrian said they're going to score 14 points. And
Yeah.
if they score 14 points,
We may
We're
not
in
win.
trouble.
Yeah, if
We're
they
in
score
trouble.
14, it's
we
gonna be a
haven't
close
scored.
game.
We haven't scored close to 14 in the last 5 games.
Hey, we might be able to pull a Steelers and score 6 field goals in a single game.
Well, I mean, he hits from 50. So
yeah.
yes,
Yeah. If we can do that,
Yes.
then
He's
great.
going to go high in the draft.
yes.
I
Both
hope
of
so.
them will. I mean,
That's the bright spot of our season.
Yeah.
Yeah. He deserves it.
Yeah, he
Man,
does.
he's hung on.
Okay, now Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. Adrian, what do you think? We can go you first here on this one.
So I circled Bethune-Cookman. Oddly enough, and it sort of hurt to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on. I think this team sort of has officially hit its ceiling. I think
Maybe they
I don't know if there's anything left. And Bethune-Cookman always plays us hard. It's a Florida Classic down in Orlando.
There's no home field advantage in this game
it's
at
like
all.
a sort of it's a good little balance, but it's I think Bethune-Cookman sort of takes this one, unfortunately.
Eric.
Strike, and strike again.
I hope so.
We're taking those FAMU
We're taking
Rattlers.
FAMU Rattlers.
Yes,
Strike again. I like
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. Go Rattlers. Jim, I'm gonna ignore him for right now.
Yeah, he's got that shirt on.
Yeah.
I picked FAMU for this one. I'm hoping
I hope
that
so,
they're a little angry after last week and a little mad at themselves and a little embarrassed, and that they
Take it out on them kitty
that they
cats.
take it out on Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
I'm picking the Rattlers too.
Yeah, I got the
Rattlers.
Rattlers. They're the
Okay.
best football team in Tallahassee. So
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides the Lady Knowles soccer team.
You know what's so frustrating about this is that as much as he's just so obnoxious about this, you can't argue it.
No.
That's the trouble.
Yeah, the best football team in Tallahassee
Is the Lady Knowles
That's
soccer.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. Hey, Gators are playing Ole Miss. I'm going to go with you first, Mr. Gator. What do you think? What do you think? Huh?
Go ahead, pick what
You
you
know,
want.
I think that
Everybody's
this last win
No pressure.
has awakened the beast in my Gators, and they're gonna win. They're gonna score. This final score is gonna be like 40-10.
What?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Totally serious prediction.
Is there any
No,
drug-
no, no,
Is there
it's
any drug
serious.
testing here
Listen.
at work?
Yeah, no,
Listen.
we're going to
It-
institute something, I
listen.
think.
Yeah.
I think
It's the caffeine talk.
emotionally,
It's the
I
caffeine.
gotta say UF, but
Yeah.
it will be close, and don't hold me too much to that
Okay,
prediction.
okay. No,
I am a
no.
biased
I
predictor.
didn't even hear it, so that's Eric, UF or
I'm going against the swamp lizards.
yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
Yeah. Adrian.
Ole Miss, unlike Tristan, I'm not gonna. I'm not sure what that kind of pick was. I don't want.
He likes the color of their
going-
uniforms.
Yeah.
Listen. They do have the best colors. That is true.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
love
like I say,
that.
I'm ignoring
that
it.
blue and orange.
I'm listening.
You know
I'm
when you
hearing him.
mix
I'm
blue
ignoring
and
him.
orange, it makes.
I don't.
Thank you. I was about to say the
Well,
wrong
it's a
word.
good thing they're two distinct colors
Yeah.
that aren't mixed together on the uniform.
I don't even have to ask Jennifer. I know that she's picking Ole Miss.
Oh
so,
yeah, 100%. They stomped Georgia. They're gonna stomp the Gators too. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So UM plays Wake Forest. Adrian.
I like how we just sort of like. Huh? So I'm gonna take Miami. I think Miami's still there. I mean, they're not. They're not bad. They're not bad. They just they do well with beating themselves up though. But I think Miami's gonna take this one.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for the orange and green, the other orange and green team.
Yeah.
real friends don't let friends wear orange.
It's true.
That's why we're not friends.
That's right.
But to land back off of what Adrian said, Miami, they can do some things, but
They really can.
their problem this year is their defense. They can't stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'm still going to pick them.
Yeah. Wake would have to score. It becomes an offensive. Who's going to score the most in a high scoring game at that point? Then, right? So yeah. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to pick Miami, so I will pick Cam Ward.
Yeah. Although Travis Hunter, by the way, the Heisman talk. Travis Hunter's so far ahead, at least in the predictions, and then if you talk to Vegas,
If you actually go what the actual description of the trophy is, the best college player, he is the best college player.
Oh,
Yeah.
by far.
Normally they've been giving it to quarterbacks, but this year is the only year it is actually boiling down to the best college player because
this year, the first time in a long time,
quarterbacks
right.
are going to do
Yeah.
what quarterbacks do.
Yep.
Running backs are going to do what running backs do. Wide receivers are going to do what wide receivers do. But you got this one person.
That's a
doing
wide
it
receiver
all.
and a defensive back, and he's Travis Hunter's.
He's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
So should I even ask you who you're going to pick?
I'm going to pick Miami. You know
I
what?
figured so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So UCF travels to Morgantown, West Virginia to play West Virginia. What do you think, Eric?
The last time I picked against UCF, they actually went ahead.
Yeah.
Well.
They actually went ahead and won.
I wonder who said they would.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
But that was a very close.
It was close.
Very
It was
close
close.
game. But they're not going to do it this time. I'm
West
taking
Virginia?
those Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Up in the mountains.
Yeah, when you're
Understandable. Yeah. I'm taking West Virginia.
You're taking
as
West
well.
Virginia too?
So.
Yeah, I am too. I'm picking West Virginia. What do you think? West Virginia?
West Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got West Virginia because all my friends that went to UCF during that unofficial undefeated season or whatever, I still don't forget how annoying they were for that when they didn't face anybody. So, all a UCF hater over here.
But they beat Auburn.
Yeah.
They beat Auburn. And not just close. They beat Auburn.
Remember the next year they got stomped by LSU?
Yeah.
Like, because they were like,
Are you trying to convince him to pick against West Virginia? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
I'm just stating.
I would just ignore him anyway. So. USF is playing Tulsa. Tulsa, by the way, is 3-7. Not the USF has beaten beating the bushes with all their victories either. But I'm picking USF.
Yeah, I got USF as well. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm going Tulsa.
Going Tulsa. Oh. See,
Here's our chance.
He is really
Here's
trying
our
to.
chance.
Now, David, what's our percentage there? I need to calculate something right now.
Actually, the two of you are actually tied percentage-wise going into this week's picks.
See, that might have messed you up there.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Jim, who you picking?
USF.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm coming for you.
Come on.
Yeah.
And when Tulsa wins,
When Tulsa wins, Eric's going to walk in and say, forget about that 0-3 last week.
That's right.
Tulsa won. Well, that is the end of another, just discussion, talk around the bench by a couple of three knuckleheads and somebody from Gatorland.
And then me.
And then Jennifer. And then Jennifer, who really was the only one who watched the Tyson Paul fight.
I did.
Right?
Yes.
Well, I watched it. That was a good one.
Oh, you did? You watched it too?
Yes.
Anyway, so a Netflix debacle, but you were everybody I think was probably hoping for a Tyson, just a beat down by Tyson. Didn't happen that way.
The person I wanted to win up winning, Jake Paul for I'm kidding. I can't even say that seriously.
Leave.
I can't even say that seriously.
You can take your headsets off and leave now. And as Mr. Gator leaves the studio, we say goodbye from another Tally Benchwarmers. If you'd like to send us some questions, email us at tallybench.org. We are hoping for a Charleston Southern, just a victory by FSU that Norvell can hang his hat on.
Yes.
Let's hope for the best. And we'll find out next week on Tally Benchwarmers.